Hello, today's video is going to be on the time management matrix. Now, the time management matrix is nothing that I'm going to take credit for, definitely not. This is by, you probably read the book or maybe even heard of it, by Stephen Covey. The book is called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. But today, really, I'm going to tweak it mainly for entrepreneurs. So, you're probably an entrepreneur watching this, a business owner, maybe multiple business owner. As a business owner, we've always got a tendency to feel, especially if you're working directly with the team and so on, feel like you're being pulled from pillar to post. This needs doing, that needs doing, deadlines need meeting. You feel like you're always being stretched too thin and so on. Especially if you're a startup and you've been in business a few years and it's not that systemized yet. Your team are still finding their feet and so on. And again, maybe even the business is still finding its feet. So hopefully this video will help a little bit because what I want to do with all my mentees, obviously I'm lucky enough to work with driven, committed entrepreneurs who want to release a potential, build the business, obviously increase the wealth, but ultimately really build their ideal life. So hopefully an understanding of these principles will help you build your ideal life because I see, which has happened for me for over 20 years, I see your business or the business that I had as a vehicle to allow me to have financial freedom. That's what they were there for. I didn't want to be, because it happened for me for the first 10 or 12 years. You're in control of the business at first, and before you know it, the business is in control of you, and you're working 6, 7 days a week, longer hours than you did when I suppose you had a job, a job. So, from looking at this now, like I said, the Time Management Matrix by Stephen Covey. Hopefully you can make it out. There's 4 quadrants, 4 squares. Now, along this top row here, it's important tasks. And along the bottom row there, it's not important tasks. So ideally, as the entrepreneur, as a leader, as a visionary of your company, wanting to push it further forward, wanting to make sure you constantly grow the growth and the profits as well, you definitely don't want to be spending any time here in the non-important task. You're just wasting your time. It's what I like to say to my mentees, you're just turning the wheels of the business but not really generating anything. So that means you need to be concentrating on the top rows here, the important rows, and it's either important, urgent, or it's important, non-urgent. Now, straight away, just in case I forget, this is the quadrant that you want to be spending all of your time in there. If you're familiar with Pareto's principle, 80-20 or anything like that, or maybe even 10x, um, it always talks, especially I mentioned this to my mentees as well, you continually want to be spending as much time as you can in this quadrant because that's where the profit's generated, that's where your business improves, that's where success comes from, and that's where ultimately you start to build your ideal life. Now, occasionally you're going to get dragged back into this one. So just to talk about it here, so urgent ones really are like crisis, problems happening. So a crisis really or problems, even something as simple as the phone rings. You're not going to let the phone ring off and nobody answer it, especially if you're a bricks and mortar business, or if you are a bricks and mortar business, somebody walks into your building. You need to make sure that they're obviously spoken to quite soon, really. So, however, if going back to the phone example, the phone could ring, but then it could ultimately end up as a pointless call, a sales call, or anything like that. So, urgent things obviously do need your attention, but the more time you spend in this, as a result, obviously, you're spending less time in the not urgent column there or the not urgent quadrant. So it's really things like prevention and relationships. So prevention versus cure, it's a classic one that. So again, you always, especially if you're running a successful business now at the moment, or you have people, clients, customers paying you weekly, monthly, whatever. If you've got existing clients, customers, try your best to look after those. So prevention versus cure. Make sure you're always looking after your existing flock, your existing tribe, because they're the ones that keep the lights on, pay the bills, pay the payroll, and so on. Relationships, again, about building rapport. Lots of things that can fall into this as well is marketing. Now, marketing isn't urgent. So as a result of it not being urgent, and like anything really, it can get forgotten about. Things that scream and shout here, that just because they're being noisy, they normally get our attention, and we tend to deal with these. Whereas the things that are in this section are not, or this quadrant, sorry, are normally things that can get forgotten about. So marketing is a classic one. If you've got a team training is a classic one. Weekly meetings and catch ups because they're not urgent, because business still turns whether or not you do that meeting or not, or whether or not you're obviously carrying out marketing, the business will still turn and still take over. However, When you start to take your eye off the ball in this quadrant, things then start to drop. You might not notice it straight away, but trust me, when you start to take your eye off these tasks here, your business will start to stagnate and then drop down like that. One of my great mentors, martial arts mentors, again, I think very similar to Ray Kroc, you're either green or growing or ripe or rotting. So business, you're either going up or you're going down. There's no plateau. It's either that one or that one. So the time management matrix, especially for entrepreneurs, I'd always advocate that you are continually looking and assessing what tasks you're doing. You and your business, if you wanted to grow it, if you wanted to push it forward, should be spending the most time in the tasks that move the profit needle the most, the things that generate the most income. And again, linking it back to the 80-20 principle, Pareto's principle, you should continue to be looking at the 20% of tasks that you do and how much revenue they bring in, and then try your best to offset, delegate, outsource any of the other 80% of tasks to allow you to expand on your 20% of tasks, which in turn, again, if you're doing it properly, will allow you to improve the profit, improve the top line, and obviously improve the bottom line. So I hope that was helpful for some people. Again, just a quick recap. I don't want to be taking any credit for this. This is a time management matrix by Stephen Covey, but it's a really important concept for entrepreneurs that are wanting to grow, that are wanting to develop the business to understand. You need to be spending your time in this quadrant here, the not urgent but important tasks, marketing your business, making sure existing clients are looked after, carrying out team training, making sure that you're continually trying to improve your product, your provision, your service, whatever it is. Because as soon as you take your foot off the pedal in that area, things start to slide. Maybe not instantaneously. You might not notice it for a week, a month, 2 months, a quarter, 6 months. But if you're not spending time in here, it will have a detrimental effect on your business. I hope that's helped a few people. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. There's videos on here on mindset, business, and wealth. And again, I help driven, committed entrepreneurs, business owners who are looking to release the potential. Again, that's all down to the mindset, to improve the business, to improve the wealth, and ultimately build their ideal life. I don't want my mentees, my entrepreneurs, being slaves to their businesses. You should be in control of your business, and it should be allowing you that financial freedom that you obviously originally started the business for. Good luck, everybody. Just keep getting in touch, and keep taking steps forward. If you think that obviously we could help each other, if you think you could benefit from some of my guidance, then just contact us and we can obviously see what happens. All the best, everybody.